Most buyers think that the earnest money is the most they can possibly lose if they have to back out of a contract. But be aware that the contract makes you liable for something that is usually much larger than the earnest money. You could be liable for the agent commissions, all of them. So the correct answer is C. On page 5, section C, number 2 of the standard Georgia contract, it states that if you default on the contract, the agents can sue you for the commissions they would have earned if you hadn't defaulted on the contract. It doesn't matter if you defaulted for a tragic or unforeseen reason out of your control. Think about it. A 6% commission on a $500,000 home is $30,000. That's a lot of money. It really doesn't happen all that much, but you should know that it could. I had one father who wanted me to strike that from the contract for the offer that his daughter was making for her first condo. He said, "What if she gets laid off a few days before closing when we're past all the contingencies?" I agreed with him that he had a valid concern, but you have to balance that possibility with the possibility that will hinder your negotiations. Think about the red flags that you'll put up by requesting that clause be removed from the contract. The seller is now thinking about why the buyer is worried about the possibility of defaulting on the contract at the very beginning. You don't want to create an unnecessary fear for something that's unlikely to happen. But I do think that it's an awful clause. The only reason it's there is because the realtors control what goes into the standard contract that everyone uses. If it wasn't already in the contract, I doubt that a buyer or seller would allow an agent to add it in, since it only benefits the agent. Now, I can't force a listing agent to remove that clause, but I can remove it from our buyer agency agreement, which has the same clause in it. Every buyer agency agreement I sign with the buyer, I add a special stipulation that strikes that clause from the agreement. I just want you to know for certain that I will not come after you for my part of the commission if you fail to be able to buy your home. I'm not going to pile on and make your life even more miserable, but I can't speak for what other agents will do. So just know that the listing agent could sue you for their share of the commission if you default on the contract. You should always be aware of the worst case scenario.